Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Hikvision and eLight Thermomolecular Products webinar. My name is Michael, and I'm the product manager of Hikvision Thermomolecular Products. So during this webinar, if you have any questions, please type in the Q&A sections, and we will answer your questions. So in the first 30 minutes, I will do the brief introduction on Hikvision technology and products, and then I will hand over to Stuart from eLight Optical Distribution. He will do a product demo and show you the details of the products. Okay, let's start from the brand introduction. So you may ask, who is Hikvision? So Hikvision is a global company. We have over 34,000 employees worldwide, and over 16,000 of them are R&D engineers. And we have 8 R&D centers worldwide, including the London R&D in UK, and we have over 2,800 patents. So as you can see, we really invest a lot of resources to research and development. We have 3 factories in China. The total area is about 700,000 square meters. With first-class automated production line, we can manufacture thousands of cameras per day to help customer get shortest lead time on orders. And also, we have a big test lab to test every single product before we ship out to your hand. Our tests include hardware test, system test, software test, and also image test. All our products meet global standards, including the CE, ISO, CCTV, etc. And we have 4 offices in UK, head office in London, branch office in Manchester, Glasgow, and Doncaster. And we also have a RMA center based in Sheffield, so we can provide efficient RMA service for UK local customers. Cool. The next part, I will do an introduction on thermal technology. I will hope this section will help you have better understanding of what thermal is and why we use thermal technology. Okay, first question to all, what is thermal? So any object with a temperature above absolute 0 degree, it will continuously emit thermal radiation. These radiations, they cannot be seen by your naked eye, but it can be captured by thermal sensor. If there is temperature, there is thermal radiation. That's the reason thermal can see through darkness, smoke, fog, rain, snow, etc. This slide will show how do you see thermal image through Hikvision monocular. I will introduce some fundamental knowledge to help you have a better understanding. The first component of monocular is germanium lens. The function of germanium lens is to let infrared between 8 to 14 micrometer to go through the lens. As you can see on the slide, so this is the first lens. And then it can help to block out some visible light and other waves, only let the thermal radiation go through. And then we have a UFPA sensor. So the full name of UFPA is Uncooled Infrared Focal Plane Array. So we also call this thermal sensor. So the functionality of thermal sensor, it can receive this radiation and convert these signals to digital signal. And with other chips, the digital signal will be converted into images. And then you can see the thermal images. So it's more like the converter from the thermal radiation to an image and a video with this germanium lens and UFPA chips. Cool. Next part, let's see what is the advantage of thermal technology. You can see in the left-hand side, there the picture. So with optical monocular or naked eye, you can't see a target far away from you when light or weather condition is not so good. But with a thermal monocular on the right-hand side, you can obviously see someone is moving. Because of the temperature difference between human or animals to the background, you can see a different color to help you identify a target in a long distance. So the first advantage is long range. Okay, another picture. So these pictures show how a person wearing dark clothing stood in the shadows is invisible to the naked eye. We call this low contrast scene. So you can see in the top picture, actually you can't see anything. But when we view the picture in the bottoms in the same scene, we use a thermomonocular. The heat profile of the person makes them very easy to see. They just jump out to you. This is very useful for hunters. The deer naturally blends into its surroundings and can be hard to locate even with high-quality optical binoculars and scopes. But when viewed with the thermomonocular, the heat profile of the deer is immediately obvious and it stands out in the surroundings, allowing quick detection and identification. The thermomonocular also allows you to quickly scan and detect animals like foxes of a large area in complete darkness. So that's the second advantage of the thermal low contrast scenes. You may have questions. When I look at the specification of a monocular, there are so many parameters. So what is the key parameter when I select a monocular? Is there anything I need to consider about? Okay, now I will show you the 4 most important points when you choose between different monocular. The first key point is the resolution. So resolution is easy to understand. It just means how many total pixels you will get in the image. There are 3 pictures from left-hand side to the right-hand side you can see on the slide. So it's 160, 384, and 6040 resolution. If you look at the wheels of the car, you can see a big difference across these pictures. The details quality of high-resolution image is much better than the low resolution. So with same focal length, high resolution can bring you more image details. For example, if you are hunting with a high-resolution monocular, you can quickly identify what animal is in the scene when you have a high resolution. But with a low-resolution monocular, you may need to get closer to the target. Okay, that's the first point, resolution. And the next one, we call this pixel pitch. So what is pixel pitch? Pixel pitch means the physical interval between 2 pixels. So in thermomonocular market now, the most typical pixel pitch is 12 micron and 17 micron. So what's the difference between these 2 pixel pitch? You can see the 2 pictures in the slide. Left-hand side is from a 12 micron monocular, and the right-hand side is from a 17 micron monocular. The 12 micron sensor gives you a closer view of the target, while 17 micron sensor gives you a better image quality and a sharp image. So it's a balance you have to choose. You have to think about better image quality or longer distance. And usually in the market, 12 micron cost will be lower than the 17 micron. And the third point I'm going to show you is called NETD. Well, it sounds very technical, but if you look at these videos and the pictures, you can have a better understanding. So the full name of NETD called Nose Equivalent Temperature Difference. So it means the ability of the thermomonocular to detect the minimum temperature difference between 2 objects. So it's also called thermal sensitivity. The smaller the NETD value is, the better image quality you will get. I will show you 2 short videos. So now you can see 2 videos. The left-hand side one is from the camera with 35 millikelvin NETD. The right-hand side is 40. If you look at the bricks, the trees, and also the road, you can see the 35 millikelvins image is much better than the 40. Another example, if you look at these 2 pictures, so the 35 millikelvins details on the grasses, also the person, is much better than the 50. As I have mentioned, Hikvision has a very powerful R&D team, so we produce our own thermal sensors. All Hikvision monocular use 35 millikelvin sensors to help you get the best image quality in the market. Okay, the last key point to choose a monocular is distance. There are mainly two main factors which can affect the distance. The first one is the focal length of the thermomonocular. For example, 15 mil, 25 mil, and 35 mil. The second one is the target size. So in thermomonocular industry, there is a standard of distance called the Johnson criteria. In Johnson criteria, distance of thermal is classified as DRI. So you can see on the slide, DRI. So D means detection. So detection means it's the longest distance where you can see something move, but you can't tell what target it is. You can't tell, okay, is that a person? Is that an animal or anything or any other things? R means recognition. So R requires 6 pixels. So it's a distance where you can tell what type of object is. For example, you can tell, okay, this is a human or this is animal. The I means identification. So it's the distance where you can identify what exactly the animal is. For example, it's a deer, it's a fox, it's a dog. So it's quite easy to understand now. So detection distance actually is widely used now in monocular, but to be honest, if you use the monocular for hunting, the detection distance is not like very useful because you can only tell, okay, there is something move, but you can't tell what target is that with detection distance. You have to move closer to identify. So usually for hunting, we usually use identification distance as reference. Cool. So that's a fundamental knowledge of thermal. Hope you have a better understanding of what thermal is now. So next part, let's move to the products introduction. So I will brief introduction the Hikvision monocular products and features. Then I will hand over to Stuart for detailed introduction and the product demo. Hikvision monocular is branded as HIK Micron. So HIK Micron is a sub-brand owned by Hikvision. We now have two series. On the left-hand side is a Link series, and on the right-hand side is OWL series. Link series is a basic series and very cost-effective. OWL series is a high-end monocular to cover longer distance and provide better image quality. For Link series, we have two models now, which is LC06 and L15. LC06 resolution is 16 by 120, so it's more like an entry-level product. And L15, it has higher resolution, 384 by 288. Both of two monoculars have 35 millikelvins and ETD. So as I have mentioned before, it's the best thermal sensitivity in the market now. And the battery operation time is from 7 to 8 hours. So it's normally long enough for one-day use. And it's IP67 rating. So IP67 rating means it's water and dust proof for outdoor use. And for our series, so it's a high end now, we have three models now, which is OH25, OH35, and OQ35. OH series has a 384 resolution sensor, but OQ35 has the high 6040 resolution, which can bring you better image qualities. And again, all three models has a high thermal sensitivity, 35 millikelvins. Oh, sorry. And it's equipped with a high resolution 1024 by 768 OLED display, which present you high image qualities. The last section, I will just go through 4 key features for our monocular. So the first point, all our thermomonocular has 4 color palettes. So they are white hot, black hot, fusion, and red hot. You can switch between these palettes quickly based on different scenario and application. And to help you save battery power in outdoor use, HIK Micron monocular has a standby mode. By just click one button, you can quickly turn screen off. So when you want to wake it up, so just click again and the screen will come back immediately. So you don't need to continuously turn it off and turn it on, which can be quite annoying. And HIK Micron monocular has a unique function called hot spot tracking. Our monocular will automatically spot high temperature spot in screen and the display as green vertical. So I will show you a quick video. So you can see here is the deer, another deer here. So our monocular will spot this out for you automatically. So sometimes when you are hunting, you may easily miss a target if it's blended in a tree or maybe only a part of its body is out. But as you can see in the video, the monocular can automatically spot deer and follow it. So you can quickly find what you need to investigate. Okay, and all our micro monocular has built-in Wi-Fi modular. You can connect it to your mobile phone. You can have live view on the app and record some video footage or capture some pictures. And by scanning the QR code, you can quickly download the app for both your Android or your iPhone. Okay, so that's all for the technology and the product inductions. Now I will hand over to Stuart to show the products in video. I will set you as audience. Hello, Stuart. Now it's your time.
Hello. Hi, Michael. Thanks for the introduction. There we go. All right. So I've got the 4 monoculars from Hikvision here in front of me. This is the 6mm model. That's retailing at $479. So this is bringing thermal technology into a completely new price point. Next to that, we've got the 15mm model. So those two are built on the same chassis. 15mm has a higher resolution sensor, retailing at £950. Next to that, we've got the 35mm model, which is built on a bigger chassis. This has got focus, uses the same sensor as the 15mm. And then next to that, we've got the 640 sensor Pro model. Still got the focus, going to give you a lot higher resolution image. So that's the overview. There's a lot of differences between these units, but there's also a lot of similarities. So every unit has got the 4 color palettes. Every unit, even the entry level one at £479, has got Wi-Fi. So that means you can connect to your phone. You can really easily stream. So you can, if you're out with a friend, they can watch on their phone exactly what the monocular sees. It's a lagless, high quality connection. You can also record your images straight onto your phone or take video. The 2 smaller devices have 8 GB of memory, so you can also save images and video directly onto the units, or the bigger units have 16 GB of memory, so you can save onto there and use a USB cable to connect to those and transfer the data across. The other unique feature with the HIK range is even the lowest entry level product uses the 35 millikelvin sensors. So you're getting a really thermally sensitive, thermally accurate sensor built into the units. So just take you quickly through each model. So you can see on the front, the 6mm, the big difference is the lens size. This also uses a lower resolution 160 by 120 pixel sensor. So the image that you're going to get from this will allow identification out to about 50 or 60 yards. So it's great as an introduction to thermal. It's great if you're shooting with a 12 foot-pound air gun, because realistically, your gun can't shoot further than 50, 60 yards. So you're not paying for technology that you can't use, but you're still getting those high-end features like Wi-Fi. You can still comfortably identify rabbits at 50 yards. But you do see the difference as you spend the money. It's a very linear process. So if you jump up to the 15mm, this is still a fixed focus, but you can see there's a bigger lens size. So what that gives you is a longer detection distance, and this uses a higher resolution sensor. So 384, 288 pixel sensor. So this is the same sensor that you use in this unit. This has got 1x optical base mag. So what that means is you get a really wide field of view. It makes it easy if you're in the woods and you want to quickly scan across an area. You're not looking to identify small detail. You're using this to quickly say, is there something in there? where is it? And it's a compact unit, easy to fit in your top pocket, and a really good price at 950 quid. So that's the two units here. These are both fixed focus, both good price points, but they still carry all the features that you get in the higher end units. You compare that then to the 35mm model. As you step up, you've got the bigger front lens, but you've also got focus. The other big difference with this unit is it's got 2.3 times optical mag, and then you've got digital mag up to 8 times. So your field of view in this is a lot, you've got more zoom built in at the base compared to these units, but you've also then got the digital mag, which you can still use with these, but because you're starting with a wide field of view, you're using the digital mag, and that basically just cuts into your image each time. So you see a drop in quality. If you're going to try and identify animals, foxes, out 200-300 yards, having the extra base mag in this is really useful because you're getting a more detailed image. It's a smaller field of view, which makes it more difficult to scan quickly over a large area, but you're pulling more detail out of the image. Moving on then to so this is the 640, what we call the Pro model. And this is basically giving you a really high resolution image. So the difference between these two units is the sensor, basically. So the lens size is the same, the focus system is the same. This actually has a lower base magnification at 1.4 times. So you're still getting some base mag to start pulling that detail through, but you're also getting a much higher resolution image from the chip. So it's basically, and when you combine that with the 35 millikelvin or sub 35 millikelvin net D, you can really see the detail, like in the grass. You can see the blades of grass, you can see the leaves on the trees, and this is the closest thing to night vision that I've looked through in a thermal. So it's a completely different picture that you get, and you can see every time you spend money to upgrade from one model to the next, you can see the jump in quality in the image that you see. So it's quite a linear process. We've actually made a comparison video that you can find on the Elite YouTube channel, where we've tested the 15mm, the 35 and the Pro model against each other, so you can see the difference in the field of view, the difference in the optical mag, and you can also see the difference in the detail. I mean, I was watching a fox with this in the field at the back of our house, 200 yards away, and you could see all the detail in his tail. And he called in, and well, the closer we got, obviously the easier it was to identify, but it's the sensitivity and the resolution combined to give you a really clear image. The other difference between these two models, so you can see the eyepiece in the entry-level models, the screen is a lower resolution and it's a smaller size. So again, as you upgrade, you can see the quality of the components and you get more for your money, basically. So it's an easy range to understand. The two popular models really have been this one and this one, and I would describe really in a short pitch. You've got the 6mm is a great introduction to thermal. It's great if you're shooting rimfire or air gun and you want that kind of, you want to know, maybe you want to experiment with thermal, you want to try it for the first time. It's not going to give you the ability to identify foxes and small animals at hundreds of yards. The lens size won't allow it, and the resolution of the sensor won't allow you to grab that detail from the image. As you move up to these models, they both use the same sensor. They're both really well priced and competitive in the marketplace. And it allows, it gives you a lot of functionality, and it gives you a lot of detail in the image. The NetD and the resolution of the sensor in these is, it's fantastic, and it's a really good price. It's bringing that thermal into a completely different market area. And then up to here, this model really gives you the best of everything. So, especially with the new firmware that's rolling out with 8 times mag, it's going to let you zoom in and pull out the detail that you get from that high resolution sensor. So yeah, overall, it's a great range. All the units are in stock. they're all available from your local shop. So if you want to go and see one, that's the best thing you can do. Get down there, go and look through them, go and compare them. And yeah, if your dealer's not stocking them, get them to give us a call, and we'll send some units up for you to have a